Alright, we're going to try this again. Hopefully the batteries don't die again. Here's the basic calibrating device. Yes, there's a little kink in this bar because I just did the calibration and the battery died. But anyway, here's what happens. You've got your bolts on both sides, and then you try to line up the chain the best you can. So when you stand straight up, the chain wants to be nice and straight. The bolt, the center of this bolt is 3/4 of an inch off the edge of a 7-inch piece. But more important than that is from the center of the bolt to the center of the bolt is always 5.5 inches on a 7.5-inch piece. So instead of worrying about the ends as much, I tighten down one end, then I use a spacer to make sure that the other end's always in the proper spots. So you can see from this here, here's my spacer to show I get 7 inches from bolt to bolt, from inside to inside. Well, not 7 inches, but the spacer to equal a 7-inch bar. So I have 5.5 inches from here to here. Then also on this piece of wood, I have a spot on the inside to mark the dead center of the bar, which I did here, so I know where to apply the weight. Alright? So that's critical. I always change this out, so if I have a 6-inch, it's a different size piece of wood. Now, in the whole apparatus itself, as you can see, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to lift this up, lining that black spot in the middle with the center of this link chain. And then as I apply force, I'm going to try to pull both sides off the ground. And once both sides are off the ground, then I know the bar is kinked as much as possible with that particular weight. Alright? So I'll do it again on this one, but it's not going to move. Alright, so both sides are off the ground. You put it back down. So it doesn't move very much. But what happens is, that tells me how strong the bar is off the initial. Because I always try to keep this 75 pounds to 100 pounds lighter than what I think the bar is going to be at. Then afterwards I can go and I can start adding on more weight until I lift it and this actually bends to 30 degrees. So once this is at 30 degrees, that tells me how much weight it took to calibrate it. So a lot of times everybody gets concerned with the diameter of the piece of steel and that something went wrong or the calibration is not right. But once I hook this up and I pull it off the ground, that bar is going to keep on bending to a certain point until the weight comes off the ground. So if it's a weaker piece of steel, it won't kink or it'll kink a lot more than a stronger piece of steel with my initial pull. So there's no mystery behind it. I'm just trying to get across the point that it is what it is. What I come up with when I do my lifts is what the bar is calibrated at. Okay, so yes, you're going to have a higher diameter, calibrated at a lower weight. That is what it is. It's not a perfect system. That's why we try to say it's a 5 to 10 pound variance, because it's not precise, but it's as close as we're going to get for now. Any other questions? Let me know.